Hey, I almost can't believe it. Betty found her way back. Here I was thinking I'd never see her again. Oh, Betty, you big goof. What were you thinking in that little metal noggin of yours? You nearly worried me to death. And ain't you just the most reliable freelancer in the colony? Let me just take a look at Betty here and we'll talk about payment. Oh, it looks like you went in and reset her parameters. Thanks a ton for doing that. Should get me back to work all the faster. Between saving Betty and sorting her out, you've sure done me, and by extension Slug, a service. I've got bits and spare parts with your name on them. Oh, I won't be turning my back on Betty again, believe me. Thanks again for all your help. You really saved us both from the edge.
Sorry, but we're a little busy right now. I'm sure one of the other guys would be happy to give you a tour.
Lawrence, do you know who you're talking to? We always have time for the inspector.
The inspector? That's you? I am so sorry. We didn't know what we were doing. We're so sorry. It'll never happen again. Oh, Law, it's all over. I told you someone would catch on sooner or later, Belle.
Lawrence, let me do the talking here. Inspector, pay him no mind. I'm sure you've bigger saltuna to can than us.
Normally, yes, but we take guests out on live-action wilderness experiences for additional pay. You know, shoot a raft here, walk there. We're just between tours right now. Buying? We're not selling anything. Especially since we're between tours.
Don't pay him any mind, Inspector. His upper story's a little gap-toothed, if you know what I mean. But seeing as you insist on sticking your... That is, since you're so curious, I'll fill you in on what we're doing. We, misplaced some people on our last tour. Misplaced them in the maws of some local predators. Now we're stuck here wondering how to get their room keys. Might have been Raptidons. I find it hard to tell them apart, especially when my glasses get fogged up. Hey, we all got our priorities. Not worrying about those keys ain't gonna bring their owners back from the dead. Anyway, the sooner we get those keys back, the sooner we can make it look like the ex-guests checked out early. Here's one. We ain't done nothing illegal. The guests signed the proper waivers to come out here. Still, it'd be a pain for Slug if we don't make it look like they checked out too. Byzantines aren't always put off by paperwork alone, sadly.
We knew sooner or later this was gonna happen. We've got some hush money tucked away. If you can get those keys for us, it's all yours.
You kidding? You're welcome to.
Our bosses would want this situation resolved, just like us. We're the real victims here. The dead can't suffer anymore, but we can, and we will if we have to pay for all these lost keys. Did I just hear that right? The inspector is going to help us, Bill! Thank the stars!
We're not out of the woods yet. Let's just see what happens before we celebrate. We last saw the guests deeper in the wilderness, Inspector. That'd be a good place to look.
For this.
all right.
Incoming! Nice hit!
Get it off!
Ah!
Here they come. That's the last of them. Nice fake desert. I wonder if they... Here we go!
Woo! Nice work!
Shh. Birdie seems like an... It'll be over quickly.
Oh, patch yourself up, Captain!
You're hurt, Captain! You tough! Try something else!
You okay?
Hey there. You find us those keys? That's all of them. You're a lifesaver and a half, Inspector. Lawrence, you got the bits?
Let's see, which pocket did I... Oh, they're in my hand. Here you are, Inspector. We'll make sure to put in a good word with our friends, too. I can't wait to put this behind us. We'll wait here a little longer, and start clearing out their rooms when the shift changes. Not sure what we'll do with their belongings.
Lawrence, we talked about this, remember? What belongings? Anyhow, thanks again, Inspector. Good luck with your investigation. Here they come! Try something else!
That's the last of them. What is this? Another soul willing to brave the dangers of the wilderness? How thrilling to find my paramour out here in the wilds. Virgil Henderson at your service. Board surprise auditor and fifth finest shot this side of Halcyon. Delighted to meet you. Of course I'm not. The Bureau of Creatures and Land Auditor was by last month. I certainly won't be encroaching upon her territory. She bites. I'm here to conduct a surprise audit of the local holy caves, Rizzo's lone leased property in the reserve. It is rather notedly empty. Worse, it seems the evacuation occurred without anyone filing the proper emergency paperwork. Tut-tut. All Rizzo's facilities require consistent logging of work conditions. I suspect there will be information regarding the bunker during its prime, should I look into the right places. With all this in mind, there is a small issue. I actually conducted an investigation of this facility several years ago. Since my biometric data might still be registered, it's possible that my entering the facility would not be legally classified a surprise. It's a puzzle, to be sure. An uncertain suggestion. There are no shortage of legal loopholes for freelance work, but I fear setting my work on the shoulders of someone I've never met before. I may be able to hire you, but let me ask you a question to see if you're fit to represent me first. How much do you know about free market economics? That's a sufficient amount of market knowledge indeed. I knew you were the right person for the job. Head into the holy caves and see what you can find. Keep your eyes open for journals, terminals, datapads, anything that might contain info about the operation. I'm counting on you.
I wonder what they use this bunker for.
could
We've
that
got
have...
trouble.
I just wanted to make you...
Real funny!
Everyone all right?
You're a deft hand with a mag pick.
Using the promise of transcendence to lure profit seekers. Shameful.
Dang, that's impressive.
Hello! Welcome to the Prophet of Profitability's Private Prosperity Retreat. Stay positive, and soon all your humors will be balanced. Least, that's what I keep telling myself. Anyway, I'm Aaliyah Mason. I work as the Prophet's right-hand woman. What can I do for you? If you felt imbalanced and unproductive, linger in your malaise no longer. We have all the amenities and practices for calming the ill humors strangling your potential. Sit for hours in our sweat house and sweat them out, or stand amidst burning coals and feel your productive inhibitions burn away. And remember, think positive. Positivity equals productivity equals profitability. Of course, I've been studying under her for years. I know each of her techniques more or less by heart, and even have some variations of my own, such as the quintuple daily stomach purges. She's promised me that I'd be allowed to open my own branch of the retreat someday soon. Of course, I've been waiting on someday soon for coming up on 4 years now. I'm sure it's gonna happen anytime now. Oh, terribly sorry if I gave you that impression. I had a cramp. It's better now. I mean, it might be nice if I had a little inclination of whether the Prophet appreciated all the cooking and cleaning and hours of meditation I do on a daily basis. But whatever she thinks isn't for me to question. Oh my. Yes, this is important enough for me to delay my bi-hourly self-flagellation. Ask away. I was here at the retreat in the company of the other disciples and clients. I rarely have more than a few minutes of alone time. Which is fine, of course. I do what I do in the service of the Prophet, who will, I'm sure, reward me for my sacrifice. Yes, the circumstances there are quite unfortunate. For a time, the Prophet was completely despondent. Even the hot coal walks weren't buoying her spirits as they usually do. However, we recently had a high-profile visitor whose presence seemed to alleviate whatever the Prophet's fears were. We tend to treat all guests equally, so the fact that we were supposed to pay that visitor less attention was a little strange. Well, by and large, no. But something rather odd did happen regarding the Prophet recently. A few hours after our high-profile visitor arrived a couple of days ago, the Prophet asked me to take over sessions for the remainder of the day. At first, I was excited. Thought it was my chance to show her what I could do in charge. But then I saw that she was deeply worried about something. No one saw her until the next day. Certainly. Actually, before you go, I want to report something suspicious. I noticed the Prophet dragging something, a bundle, away from the retreat after that high-profile guest arrived. Normally, I'm the one who does her laundry, so it was strange. Especially because whatever she was dragging seemed oddly human-shaped. I think so. Had the right size and shape. I could have, but I generally don't have the time or energy to leave the reserve to contact anyone. Plus, there's always the possibility that I'm mistaken. The Prophet hasn't been herself lately. But if I misinterpreted the situation and reported her improperly, I'd ruin my chances for opening my own wing of the retreat.
By imagining wealth, I can evoke...